Hello, everybody. It's good to see you again. I am Adorkable Blonde. I am back here today. It's a little bit different time. It's pretty early in the morning. This is Monday morning, January the 2nd, and I didn't have to work today. Yay! So, what I decided to do was to go ahead and stream. Yes, last night I started my stream in the evening, which is probably when I'm going to do most of my streams. But I thought since I'm here today, I'd go ahead and start streaming a little bit early this morning, get our reading done today. And depending on where you are, it could be evening, morning. I have no idea where you are today. But thanks for joining me. I'm going to be reading or continue reading The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And I just want to, just read, just share my thoughts as I'm reading. But one of my New Year's goals is to do more reading. I love playing games. I do streaming on other platforms where I play games. Eventually, when I figure out how to multi-stream, maybe I'll be doing this on others and doing my gaming on others too. We'll see. But everything always gets posted to my YouTube channel. You can find me on YouTube. I'm at Adorkable Blonde. I'm sorry, at the Adorkable Blonde. So THE Adorkable Blonde. I think I have that linked somewhere. If not, I will go in after this and try and fix that. I did go ahead and post on my YouTube channel the link to where you can find this PDF that I'm reading from. Because I am in the United States, I have to be very careful about copyright laws and everything. So I can only read books that were published almost a little more than 100 years ago. I think it's like 75 years ago or something. So I have to pick books that have been out for a long time. Of course, Sun Tzu's writings are, thousands of years old. I think something like 2,500 years old or something. But anytime it's translated, then it kind of gets a new copyright slapped on it. So I had to go all the way back to a 1910 translation into English in order to find what I needed to find. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to type a quick message to everyone. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Feel free to chat with me while whoops, that's not right either. I'm reading. Okay, so there we go. So feel free to chat. On my, I don't always see the chats right when they pop up because I've got my PDF full screen, but I do try and keep my eye on it and see if we see anything. So, what? Oops, I'm being called by a child. Hang on just a moment. Okay, so I wasn't being called by a child. They're just being noisy out there. Okay, so I did go ahead and on my YouTube channel, I put down where you can find this PDF and you can download it for free. It did make me make an account, so you probably have to also. But if you wanted to read along with me, feel free. I apologize that my Oops, now I am being paged. Hang on just a moment. Okay, so yeah, English is my only language. I'm sorry about that. So the intro had a lot of French, which I did take French in high school, so I could kind of sort of work my way through it. But really, anytime I'm reading Chinese or Japanese translated to English, I'm just kind of faking it. I just make things up. I cannot read the Chinese characters at all, so I rely heavily on the translations. And of course, I tend to pronounce things the way they would be pronounced in English with the letters, even though I know that's not how the language goes. So I do my best. One of these days, I'll get my Discord set up so then we can talk live. You guys can correct my pronunciation and we can get it going. So otherwise, just try and bear with me. But we will go ahead and get started reading. So we finished the whole intro. My goodness, that was a mess. There was lots and lots of words. It took a long time to get through all that. So we'll probably just read here for about an hour. Just because usually after about an hour, my voice gets tired and my kids need something or another, and I need to readjust or do something. So we'll just go ahead and start reading and try and take about an hour, and we'll see how far we get. So we will now start reading The Art of War. So here we are, chapter 1, finally, yay! I guess we were 56 pages in before we even got to chapter 1. So here's chapter 1. And I just assume these are all the original Chinese characters. And here's the translation that I'm using. Number 1, laying plans. This is the only possible meaning of this symbol, which M. Moi and Captain Calthrop wrongly translate Fondements de l'art militaire, which is something about the art of the military, fundamentals probably, and first principles, respectively. Cao Kung says it refers to the deliberations in the temple selected by the general for his temporary use, or as we should say, in his tent. See section 26. Okay. I got it. So he thinks it's laying plans. It's not the fundamentals of the art of war or first principles. It is laying plans. Okay. 1. Sun Tzu said, "The art of war is of vital importance to the state." 2. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. 3. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors to be taken into account in one's deliberations when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field. I read fast, and sometimes I read ahead of my brain, and so I make words up or skip words, and I'm trying to go back and not do that. So that's why I'm trying to use my little cursor here. I think my cursor shows on your page. I told it to. So hopefully you can kind of see where I am when I'm reading, if you want to read along. Okay, so right here. The old text of the Tung Tien has all these characters, etc. Later editors have inserted this character after this character and this character before this character. The former correction is perhaps superfluous, but the latter seems necessary in order to make sense and is supported by the accepted reading in section 12, where the same words recur. I am inclined to think, however, that the whole sentence from this character to this character is an interpolation and has no business here at all. If it be retained, Wang Sai must be right in saying that this character denotes the 7 considerations in section 13. This character are the circumstances or conditions likely to bring about victory or defeat. The antecedent of the first, this character, is these 2, of the second, whatever. Where's my page? No. Okay, this is page 1. I wonder if this is a real page or if that's just bleeding from the front of this page. Let's see. I don't know. Well, we're missing that page. I don't know what happened to it. Interesting. 9, 10, 11, 12. So we lost everything. Oh my gosh. So apparently this page didn't scan. That's really not fun. Okay, well, we lost it all. Maybe. I don't know how to make it load. Let's see if I can make it load. Let's do where can I post this so that it will open? Oh no, I thought I checked this before I came here and I thought everything was working and loading. And I don't have the one that I can use to maybe if I'm trying to see if I can't find one of my find another window here. See what we can do. Is it going to open? It's not going to open. Okay, let's do this then. I copied it. Let's do oh, what's doing it now? Let's see. No, it just wants me to buy stuff. I don't want to buy anything. I don't want to skip it. It's probably something important that I want to see. Oops. Okay, hang on. I'm still trying something. Let's see. I tried to open Windows, a Word. Why is my Word not opening? Maybe I can open Paint. I'll paste it as an image in Paint. Is it going to work? It worked! Okay, so you guys can't read this with me, but when I hit copy and paste, it came up. And it will take me just way too long to figure out how to do that. So now I just need to learn how to zoom in. Oh, there's my zoom. Whoa, okay, there we go. Okay, so now I can read this page. So it says, contains the idea of comparison with the enemy. Something must be brought out here, but it will appear in section 12. Altogether it is, in the passage, It is not so hopelessly corrupt as to justify in burking it entirely. This is like really cut off, but at least I got most of it, which is really good. So, and then it says number 4. These are 1, the moral law, 2 is cut off, 3, the commander. No, 3 is cut off, 4, the commander, 5, method and discussion. It appears from what follows that Sun Tzu means something of harmony, not unlike the Tao of Lao Tzu in it. Okay, this is just so cut up. Oh my gosh, why would they do this to me? I will have to find some other translation of this. And we'll get back to page 2. I think we're just going to have to continue on without page 2. And we just will fail to be enlightened by whatever this says, because I don't know why it's not loading. I don't know how to make it load again. I don't want to rotate it. I want it to Why is it not showing? I don't know why it's not rendering. I'm sad. Okay, well, we're going to have to read on. I don't know what to do about that. I'm sure it has some really cool stuff. It sounded like it had some really cool stuff. I'm just bummed. Okay, so the number 9. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. The 5 cardinal virtues of the Chinese are 1, humanity or benevolence, 2, uprightness of mind, 3, self-respect, self-control, or proper feeling, 4, wisdom, 5, sincerity or good faith. Here, this symbol and this symbol, okay, what's this one? So here, wisdom and sincerity are put before humanity or benevolence, and the 2 military virtues of courage and strictness substituted for uprightness of mind and self-respect, self-control, or proper feeling. 10. By method and discipline are to be understood the marshaling of the army in its proper subdivisions, the gradations of rank among the officers, the maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and the control of military expenditure. The Chinese of this sentence is so concise as to be practically unintelligible without commentary. I have followed the interpretation of Cao Kung, who joins these 2 symbols and again these 2 symbols. Others take each of the 6 predicates separately. This symbol has the somewhat uncommon sense of cohort or division of an army. Captain Calthrop translates partition and ordering of troops, which only covers these 2 symbols. 11. These 5 heads should be very familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. 12. Therefore, in your deliberations when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of a comparison in this wise. Okay, so again, I guess this big type is the actual translation of The Art of War, and then this is this translator's commentary on everything. So this is his opinion again. The Yuan has interpolated this symbol before that symbol. It is obvious, however, that the 2 symbols just enumerated cannot be described as a different symbol. Captain Calthrop, forced to give some rendering of the words which he had omitted in section 3, shows himself decidedly hazy. Further, with regard to these and the following 7 matters, the condition of the enemy must be compared with our own. He does not appear to see that the 7 queries or considerations which follow arise directly out of the 5 heads instead of being supplementary to them. And then I guess this is the original text of 13 and 14. And this is the translation 13. Which of the two sovereigns is imbued with the moral law, i.e., is in harmony with his subjects? 2. Which of the two generals has most ability? 3. With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? See sections 7 and 8. 4. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? And here's the commentary again. Tu Mu alludes to the remarkable story of Cao Cao, AD 155 to 220, who was such a strict disciplinarian that once, in accordance with his own severe regulations against injury to standing crops, he condemned himself to death for having allowed his horse to shy into a field of corn. However, in lieu of losing his head, he was persuaded to satisfy his sense of justice by cutting off his hair. Cao Cao's own comment on the present passage is characteristically curt. When you lay down a law, see that it is not disobeyed. If it is disobeyed, the offender must be put to death. 5. Which army is the stronger, morally as well as physically, as Ma Yao Chen puts it? He puts it out right there, which might be freely rendered as esprit de corps and big battalions. 6. On which side are officers and men more highly trained? Tu Yu quotes this as saying, without constant practice, the officers will be nervous and undecided when mustering for battle. Without constant practice, the general will be wavering and irresolute when the crisis is at hand. I like that. Okay, I'm going to stop here because, not stop, but pause here, because I like that. That makes sense. You know, like the first time you do something, like even with me streaming, like I just did it. But I know I'm wavering and undecided, and I'm nervous. And I'm sure that eventually I'll get, you know, a lot. Hopefully, I'll get a lot better at this. But I think that that's really cool because I don't know. I guess we don't think about it being important in war, as well as being important everywhere. You know, sometimes these things make sense, and maybe we know it. You know, of course, practice makes perfect, and we hear things like that, and it makes sense for us to do things, to practice doing things, so that we're not nervous and undecided, or wavering and irresolute. But that, you know, what, 2,500 years ago or whatever, it was acknowledged not just for other things, but specifically for war. And so I think maybe reading this book, it's good to be reminded of how important practice is, of how important it is to do things. And sometimes I think even if you just practice in your head, I mean, you can't go out and practice killing people or whatever you would do it for war, and maybe you can't always practice going live, but I could practice it out in my head, or, you know, maybe you can't always practice exactly how it's going to be, but you can practice, you know, certain scenarios, like if you're nervous going out and talking to new people or whatever. But I don't know, it's just, I don't know, to me it's kind of cool because, you know, I always heard that, oh, practice makes perfect, and if you want to be good, you know, you've got to do it, you know, practice doing it. And I'm one of those people that, just like this, I just jump in and I do it, because if I wait until I think I'm good enough, I'm never going to do it. I just have to do it and get over that first hurdle, that just jump in and get it done, and then I can practice and try and improve. But it's just kind of weird to think that this is like 2,500 years old or older, and he totally thought the same thing. I mean, he was telling us. That's really, I don't know. I just find that really, really cool. It's kind of giving me shivers. It's kind of, wow. Wow. You know? Okay, anyway, so we'll continue. Number 7. In which army is there the greater constancy both in reward and punishment? This symbol, literally clear, that is, on which side is there the most absolute certainty that merit will be properly rewarded and misdeeds summarily punished. 14. By means of these 7 considerations, I can forecast victory or defeat. Okay. 7. So we've got the 7 considerations. I'm backing up to summarize here. Which of the 2 sovereigns is imbued with moral law? Which of the 2 generals has the most ability? With whom lies the advantages derived from heaven and earth? On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? Which army is stronger? On which side are officers and men more highly trained? In which army is there the greater constancy both in reward and punishment? And by those 7 considerations, he can forecast victory or defeat. You know, I wish that they talked just a little bit more about number 3. I think that would have been interesting. It says see sections 7 and 8, but you know what? That to me would be kind of interesting. Okay, wait, where was I? Okay, so we're at 14. So I'm going to pause and take a drink here for just a second. Okay. You know, this book is only 13 chapters. But my goodness, he's got a lot of stuff packed into each chapter. Okay. So, whoops. I'm sitting on my cord. Okay. So, it's a lot of info. Lots and lots of info. Okay. All right. Let's go back to reading. I moved, and now I can't reach my mouse. So now I'm going to have to move again. Okay. Okay. So now here we've got 15, 16, and 17. It looks like someone who had this book before was trying to translate themselves. Okay. The general that hearkens to my counsel and acts upon it will conquer. Let such a one be retained in command. The general that hearkens not to my counsel nor acts upon it will suffer defeat. Let such a one be dismissed. The form of this paragraph reminds us that Sun Tzu's treatise was composed expressly for the benefit of his patron, Ho Lu, king of the Wu state. It is not necessary, however, to understand this symbol before these symbols, as some commentators do, or to take this symbol as generals under my command. 16. While heeding the profit of my counsel, avail yourself also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. Captain Calthorpe blunders amazingly over this sentence. And this is how the other person translated it. Wherefore, with regard to the foregoing, considering that with us lies the advantage, and the generals agreeing, we create a situation which promises victory. Mere logic, boy, he's really good with the insults. Mere logic should have kept him from penning such frothy balderdash. Okay. I love when he trash talks the other translators. Okay. So, while heeding the profit of my counsel, avail yourself also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. Number 17. According as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. Sun Tzu, as a practical soldier, will have none of the bookish theoric. He cautions us here not to pin our faith to abstract principles, for, as Cheng Yu puts it, while the main laws of strategy can be stated clearly enough for the benefit of all and sundry, You must be guided by the actions of the enemy in attempting to secure a favorable position in actual warfare. On the eve of the Battle of Waterloo, Lord Uxenbridge, commanding the cavalry, went to the Duke of Wellington in order to learn what his plans and calculations were for the morrow, because, as he explained, he might suddenly find himself commander-in-chief and would be unable to frame new plans in a critical moment. The Duke listened quietly and then said, "Who will attack the first tomorrow, I or Bonaparte?" "Bonaparte," replied Lord Uxenbridge. "Well," continued the Duke, "Bonaparte has not given me any idea of his projects, and as my plans will depend upon his, how can you expect me to tell you what mine are?" From Words on Wellington by Sir W. Fraser. Okay, so, and here's principles 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Here's the characters again. This one appears a lot. This one appears, I'm just noticing things. I still don't know anything about Chinese. But anyway, all warfare is based on deception. 18. The truth of this pithy and profound saying will be admitted by every soldier. Colonel Henderson tells us that Wellington, great in so many military qualities, was especially distinguished by the extraordinary skill with which he concealed his movements and deceived both friend and foe. 19. Hence, when able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. 20. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. This symbol, as often in Sun Tzu, is used in the sense of this symbol. It is rather remarkable that all the commentators, with the exception of Chang Yu, refer this symbol to the enemy. When he is in disorder, crush him. It is more natural to suppose that Sun Tzu is still illustrating the uses of deception in war. If he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. I don't know what made me think of this, but I wonder if there's a book without all this translation gobbledygook and where I can just get the points translated like this. I mean, I get that it may or may not be accurate, but I think just the book with these points would be interesting to read, just point by point by point. Anyway, the meaning of this symbol is made clear from chapter 6, where it is opposed to this symbol, weak or vulnerable spots. This other symbol, according to Tu Yu and other commentators, has reference to the keenness of the men as well as to numerical superiority. Captain Calthrop evolves an extraordinarily far-fetched translation. I love this. So here's what it doesn't say. If there are defects, give an appearance of perfection and awe the enemy. Pretend to be strong and so cause the enemy to avoid you. Okay. So this guy says, if he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. Okay. 22. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak that he may grow arrogant. I follow Chang Yu in my interpretation of this symbol. This symbol is expanded by Mei Yao Chen into these 4 symbols. Wang Tzu, quoted by Tu Yu, says that the good tactician plays with his adversary as a cat plays with a mouse, first feigning weakness and immobility, and then suddenly pouncing upon him. (23) So here's the 23, 24, 25, and 26 in, I assume, the original Chinese characters. 23. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. This is probably the meaning, though Mei Yaochin has the note, this long note. While we are taking our ease, wait for the enemy to tire himself out. The Yulan has this symbol, lure him on and tire him out. This would seem also to have been Cao Kung's text, judging by his comment. If his forces are united, separate them. Less plausible is the interpretation favored by most of the commentators. If sovereign and subject are in accord, put division between them. 24. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. 25. These military devices, lending to victory, must not be divulged beforehand. This seems to be the way in which Cao Kung understood the passage, and is perhaps the best sense to be got out of the text as it stands. Most of the commentators give the following explanation. It is impossible to lay down rules for warfare before you come into touch with the enemy. This would be very plausible if it did not ignore this symbol, which unmistakably refers to the maxims which Sun Tzu has been laying down. It is possible, of course, that this symbol may be a later interpolation, in which case the sentence would practically mean, success in warfare cannot be taught. As an alternative, however, I would venture to suggest that a second symbol may have fallen out after the first symbol, so that we get these maxims for succeeding in war are the first that ought to be imparted. 26. Now the general who wins a battle makes many calculations in his temple ere the battle is fought. Chang Yu tells us that in ancient times it was customary for a temple to be set apart for the use of a general who was about to take the field, in order that he might there elaborate his plan of campaign. Captain Calthrop misunderstands it as the shrine of the ancestors and gives a loose and inaccurate rendering of the whole passage. I would love to see Captain Calthrop and this other dude together hashing out their things, the way they're throwing shade on, the way the guy who wrote this one is throwing shade on him. Anyway, the general who loses a battle makes but few calculations beforehand. Thus do many calculations lead to victory and few calculations to defeat. How much more no calculation at all? It is by attention to this point that I can foresee who is likely to win or lose. And that's the end of chapter 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let's go back up to the beginning of chapter 1. And I'm just going to go through and read just the points without the commentary because, shoo. Okay. Chapter 1, Laying Plans. 1. Sun Tzu said, the art of war is of vital importance to the state. 2. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. 3. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors to be taken into account in one's deliberations when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field. And page 2 is here now. 4. These are 1. The moral law, 2. Heaven, 3. Earth, 4. The commander, 5. Method and discipline. 5.6. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Seven, heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, times and seasons. 8. Earth comprises distances great and small, danger and security, open ground, and narrow passes, the chances of life and death. Oh my gosh, y'all, I can't believe those pages showed up all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, okay. 9. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. 10. By method and discipline are to be understood the marshaling of the army in its proper subdivisions, the gradations of rank among the officers, the maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and the control of military expenditure. These 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of a comparison in this wise. "13. Which of the 2 sovereigns is imbued with the moral law? Which of the 2 generals has most ability? With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? 5. Which army is the stronger? 6. On which side are officers and men more highly trained? 7. In which army is there the greater constancy, both in reward and punishment? 14. By means of these 7 considerations, I can forecast victory or defeat. The general that hearkens to my counsel and acts upon it will conquer. Let such a one be retained in command. The general that hearkens not to my counsel nor acts upon it will suffer defeat. Let such a one be dismissed. 16. While heeding the profits of my counsel, avail yourself also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. 17. According as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. 18. All warfare is based on deception. 19. Hence, when able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. 20. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. 21. If he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. 22. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak that he may grow arrogant. 23. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. 24. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. 25. These military devices leading to victory must not be divulged beforehand. 26. Now the general who wins a battle makes many calculations in his temple ere the battle is fought. The general who loses a battle makes but few calculations beforehand. Thus do many calculations lead to victory, and few calculations to defeat. How much more no calculation at all? It is by attention to this point that I can foresee who is likely to win or lose. So that's the first chapter of The Art of War. I cannot believe my computer would not do page 2 until after we just now went back on it. I'm using an old laptop, I guess. I really obviously need a new laptop. Because look at that, now I just lost that page. Up there, now it's back. So this is the whole page that we lost. Yeah, he really does not like that man. The other translator. I was looking for that one passage that just awed me, which it wasn't on this page. I guess it was up further. The one about practice. And I don't even remember it now when I went through this second time. We know it's not on that page. Oh my gosh, that one that I thought was just so cool about practice, and now I can't. Oh, here it is. It wasn't Sun Tzu that said it. It was Tu Yu who quoted these two symbols as saying, "Without constant practice, the officers will be nervous and undecided when mustering for battle. Without constant practice, the general will be wavering and irresolute when the crisis is at hand." I don't know. To me, that's my favorite takeaway of this, just because it's kind of a good reminder to use in everyday life. But I have to admit, there's some stuff on this page too that we weren't able to get, wherever it is. This part, this number 4 about moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, method, and discipline, where it kind of goes through these a little bit more detail. I like that. I like that part. I'm glad that my computer finally decided to let me have that part because I think that was like super important to a lot of this. It makes a whole lot of it make a whole lot more sense. I don't know how to keep my computer from messing up on y'all like that again next time. But hopefully we can figure something out, and I'll try and get it to keep to stay on top of things and to do whatever it needs to do so that we can keep reading. Because this is, to me, this is like super interesting. And like I said, I'd wanted to read this book for a long time. I bought a copy of the book. I have a little copy of the book, and I've never read it. I My kids, oh yeah, we want to read it, Mom, and my kids, I don't think have ever read it. And I found the book again. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna start reading more. Um, I just feel like I need to read more. I used to read all the time, and now I don't read anymore. I'm usually on my phone or on the computer playing games, and I thought, you know what, I've started streaming, and I think it's fun, and I enjoy it, and um, I thought, well, maybe if I stream read, then I'll stay more committed to it because I like to show up and do things consistently. And I thought, well, if people are looking for me, then maybe I'll be there. And I have to tell y'all, I was so excited yesterday when I did my first stream because I was sitting here the whole time, just fumbling through it. I'm sure if you watched my video, you saw I was really struggling with the different languages and the pronunciations and trying to read everything, but I was doing my best, but I thought I was doing the whole thing talking to myself. I mean, really, I thought it was just me here. I didn't even realize that my daughter had gone ahead and logged into Nemo and made an account, and she was watching me, and she was so excited afterwards because she's told me, she said, "Mom, you had She said I had an average of 61 viewers yesterday. And I was like, no way. I thought I was by myself the whole time because y'all are so quiet. And she said, well, they were listening to you. And I understand some of you might not speak English fluently, and so maybe you don't know how to chat with me, and I wish we could chat a little bit better. But feel free to please go ahead and chat, and go ahead and text me something on my chat, and please go ahead and click that follow. I'm going to finish up this book, and at least if you don't have time to watch me, then maybe at least you'll know the dates, so it'll be easier to find me on YouTube and go ahead and finish up reading. But I'm just so excited, and thank you guys for joining me if you're still here. I had fun. We'll see probably tomorrow. Let's see, today is Monday. I am going to try and stream 4 days in a row because I am new to Nemo, and they give that little award or you get something or something if I do 4 days in a row. So I'm going to try and go ahead and do the next couple of chapters um, tomorrow on Tuesday and on Wednesday. And then I'll probably go ahead and take a break Thursday and go play games or something over on my other stream. But still, all my stream names are Adorkable Blonde. It should be pretty easy to find me. Some have an E at the end of Adorkable Blonde, some don't, just depending on how many characters they let me have for my username. But you can usually find me, hopefully pretty easily. And I would love to connect with you and share with you and chat with you. And thanks for coming today and listening to me read and listening to me with my technical issues. And I appreciate it because I think reading is good for you. I think reading helps you be a better person. It helps you with all kinds of things. And I thought this would be an interesting book to start with, and that's why I picked it. So, thanks again. I hope everyone is having a super awesome New Year's. I think 2023 is going to have some great things for everybody. Um, and certainly hope it has great things for you. And feel free to um, send me a chat, send me a message, whatever, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Hope everyone has a great evening, or morning, or afternoon, or great day, or whatever. And I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.